All right, welcome to another episode of the Investor Lounge podcast with Cap Fund. I'm your host, Alex Bogomil. Today, we're giving you one in a series of wholesaler spotlights where we're going to give you, our listeners, our borrowers, an introduction to one of the many local wholesalers that we work with. The Wholesaler Spotlight is a series, and it's an opportunity for our Cap Fund borrowers to find more quality deals and become more profitable in their business. We're going to be discussing with this wholesaler his background, his experience, and market outlooks for the Central Florida market. Join me today in welcoming Camilo Fajardo, a seasoned real estate wholesaler with over 9 years of wholesaling and investment experience. Hey there, Camilo. How are you?
Good. How are you? How's everything?
I'm doing good. I appreciate you taking time to join us today on the podcast. And I wanted to kind of give you an introduction to all of our borrowers and anyone that tunes in on our social media sites. So maybe you could just start off. Tell us about yourself. How'd you get into real estate and wholesaling?
Awesome. Yeah, got into wholesaling about 9 years ago. Got introduced to it, into just overall real estate investing, wholesaling overall, and everything. Got interested by a buddy of mine, and I loved it. I kind of fell in love with it from the start. The whole concept of it, and I dove right in, and haven't stopped since then. Built a couple of different companies. Been a part of big teams, and I'm here now, and I'm loving it, still grinding it out, and finding success in it.
Yeah, I've known you for years now, and I know you've worked with a couple of the wholesaling companies. So now you're off on your own?
Yeah. Right now I have my own company. It's Blackwater Investment Group, and we've been live for over a year and a half now.
A lot of deals for all the investors out there in Central Florida?
Yeah, absolutely. Trying to stay as busy as I can.
Cool. Well, let's ask some more. Let's dig in a little deeper. You told me that you're an investor. So have you done flips personally or done any rental properties?
Yeah. I've done rental properties, both, and flips as well in the past. And been done the risk, done the headaches, but still going at it.
Blackwater, tell me a little bit about that. How many people are you working with? Tell me a little bit about the company.
So Blackwater Investment Group, we focus mainly in dispositions and off-market acquisitions. I have a business partner, which is Simon Diaz. He's with Investments Legacy Group. They're more focused on the acquisitions as far as MLS deals and other avenues. So we partner up, and I focus a lot on the dispositions, like I said, and just gathering and networking with a lot of investors, helping them connect to a lot of deals. All the deals that we do provide are direct to seller. So there's no worries about being a daisy chain or anything like that, which is a huge thing right now nowadays.
Yeah, for sure. We'll get into that a little later. But, just to kind of back up, if anyone doesn't understand or been exposed to a wholesaler's somebody that's going out there and finding deals for investors that are fix and flip or rental properties. And they're going out there and looking multiple different ways. They're finding them off market, on market, foreclosure, short sales, a lot of direct marketing. I used to be a wholesaler for 9+ years. It's a lot of work. It's really, really rewarding. Putting deals together and watching them from start to beginning. You're doing a lot of negotiating. So a wholesaler puts in a lot of legwork that the investor doesn't have to do. It's actually the only place that an investor could go up and say, hey, I want to buy a property today, put the deposit down, and it's theirs. And there's essentially no competition if you want the property. So a really good source. The market kind of fluctuates little by little. Sometimes it's a lot of on-market deals. Sometimes it's a lot of off-market deals. So when it's a lot of off-market deals, wholesalers are imperative because they're finding these deals. They're spending a lot of money each month trying to find these deals for you to present them to you. So they get these under contract, they'll mark them up a little, and then they'll sell them to the end investor. Yes, they're making a little bit of money on that, but they're putting in a lot of legwork. And like I said, you can walk up to a wholesaler, you could call Camilo and say, hey, I like this property, and then you send him money, and all of a sudden it's yours. You can't do that anywhere else. So a lot of times it's going to be worth the fee. I find them necessary in anyone's investment strategy. That will provide just a little insight for anybody that doesn't know. Some of our borrowers, reach out to me all the time. Hey, I can't find deals. I can't find deals. I'm like, are you working with wholesalers? And they're like, no, what's that? So this will provide a little color as to what a wholesaler is. And, now that you will eventually get to the point where you can get Camilo's contact information and have him part of your team as well, too. So going back to Camilo, though, so you said you're primarily doing dispositions. Is Blackwater Investment Group is primarily doing dispositions. Are you doing any acquisitions as far as like on market or off market?
Yeah, both on market and off market. Doing off market campaigns like mailers, direct mailers.
Yeah.
That's the bread and butter, and as well as believe it or not, vendor signs. Vendor signs are huge for off market. Both dispositions and acquisitions. I obviously started with vendor sites in the disposition side, but saw the benefit of it in the acquisition side as well.
For sure.
So yeah, doing those, and then obviously on market deals. We know we're going through the market and going on a daily basis, 12, 13, 14 hours a day, just trying to keep up with the market and offering and staying on top of the deals and finding the best deals that we can. Obviously, it's a little bit more competitive. It's a little bit more challenging for on market deals. But like you said, the reward is there once those deals are locked up and we're able to present them to our investors. We did all the legwork, all the negotiating, all the back and forth with the sellers, that an investor could come in and, they like the property, they like the numbers, and they're able to put a contract and a deposit on it and not have to go through highest and best negotiations or anything like that. So I feel like you said, it's worth the fee and skipping all the legwork and having free your time to do a lot more things and letting us do all the work.
Yeah, I know, a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, the inventory was down drastically on MLS. Now it's up a little bit more, but you're also, when you're making an offer on an MLS deal, you may have 20 other cash offers because, especially in the Central Florida area, investment properties are a hot commodity. So, if you can get them, great. If you can't get them, that's also where the wholesaler comes in, because you can send out 20 offers and maybe get 0 properties, and that's a lot of time. So, good to know. And are you finding that more and more right now we're maybe shifting back to on-market properties with the growth in the inventory?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely a lot more inventory. So we are, switching back and forth, but on market deals are very popular right now.
Yeah.
But again, it's Central Florida. This is such a huge market, and it's so competitive because there's so many people out there. Like you said, one property could get 20, 25 offers, cash offers. So it really comes down to the little details of the offer that will make or break that deal.
Let's talk about the market and kind of how Blackwater Investment Group looks at the market. Do you guys focus on certain areas, maybe certain cities? Are you outside of the state of Florida? Is there a price point? When I wholesaled, we kind of we're really, really good at certain price points. So is there a price point that you guys feel like your strength is? Tell me a little bit about kind of like what you guys find, and maybe that matches up with certain investors that are listening today.
Yeah, absolutely. So our main focus is going to be the Central Florida area.
Okay.
Anywhere from the West Coast to the East Coast, Tampa, Clearwater, St. Pete, all the way to Daytona Beach, Ormond Beach, Space Coast. We go as high as Gainesville, Jacksonville, and as low as Fort Lauderdale, West Palm, and some Miami deals. But our main focus is definitely going to be that Central Florida area from east to west.
Yeah.
Our price points, they vary. Obviously, anywhere between the 200 mark to the 400 mark is going to be the properties that are moving the most.
Right.
But we do a lot of high end as well. Anything like 700 and up, we do a lot as well. It's not as much, but when the deals are there, they get snatched up pretty fast. It's just a bigger return, a bigger profit margin in those high end deals.
Yeah. So when you're working with investors, I know you've probably got a book of investors that you work with hand in hand. But so how does it work? How would somebody listening today, how would they expect to do business with you if they reached out to you? Was that like, are you an email person? Are you a phone call, a text person? Just give me a little background about like, how a borrower would work with you, and then maybe we can walk through how they could secure a deal with you as well too.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have different avenues of contact for myself. I like email, I like calls and texts. I have people calling me and texting me at 11 midnight,
You
and
too?
I'm up answering the calls, the texts. It's just a habit, I no matter what time my phone rings, I'm gonna pick it up,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna try to help as much. So I do have a website. It's on my link tree, Blackwater Investment Group. Over there, you're able to find all the contact information as far as phones, email, all the best contact information to be able to get a hold of me, as well as you can sign up for my daily investment deals, which is, you're going to get every single deal that comes out on a day-to-day basis.
So every day they would expect to receive an email from you, just kind of like your current inventory.
Yeah, yeah. So every new deal comes out, the email will be sent out, as well as
Okay.
like a weekly update on what's still available, and what they're able to take a look at and purchase.
Now,
I saw,
what if like a really hot deal came across? Would you call people, or is you just like, I'm just going to do it this way. It's going to be a blast, and then people can call me, or because when I was wholesaling, sometimes people would call me and say, "Hey, Alex, I'm really looking for a house in 32808. If you come across anything, let me know." And then you'd hear from them a day or two later, "Hey, did you find anything for me?" So when they were in your ear, you kind of like when that 32808 house came across, I may have called them first. I mean, they may have gotten priority. Usually maybe they'd not necessarily. They just stayed in my ear. It didn't matter if they were buying a ton from me or not. But kind of is like if you're in someone's ear, then they get your attention.
yeah.
Do you work that way, or I'm trying to let our borrowers know, like, hey, I can get a deal from Camilo, and what's the best way to really secure a deal from Camilo, because everybody wants the good deals too, right?
Of course, everybody does. So I have a couple of different things for that. Again, I like to build relationships with my investors. So I know what they're looking for, if they're ready to buy now or later, what price points they're looking in. So as far as I'm able to build that relationship with the investor, with the client, as soon as the deal comes out and I know exactly it's what they're looking for, then I'm going to go ahead and reach out to them first before I email it out. Maybe if it's 2 or 3 investors that are looking for the same property in the same area, I'll reach out to all 3 of them. I'll let them know what it is,
Yeah.
and give them a heads up before I send it out. Now I have another thing that I have implemented in the last couple months, which is on my website. I have a property request form. So in case there's a hot buyer that's looking right now, that's ready to go, they can go in on my website, go into that form, and they're going to fill it out, exactly what they're looking for, price point, details of the property, area, all of that. So as soon as I get that, I'm in the market just searching specifically for that investor.
Yeah.
Once I find a deal, then I present the deal to the investor. If the investor takes it, if it makes sense for them, then we go under contract, put a deposit down, and move forward. In case that for some reason that specific deal doesn't work out for them, then I'll put that out to the other investors. But there
Yeah.
is a request form where they ever request a specific property, and I'll go in and get that specific property just for them.
That's good to know. That's like a front of the line pass. So listen up if you guys heard that. That's a good way to get right in front of Camilo's face. So you said contract and deposit. What do you typically request for a deposit?
Yeah, so all our deals are first come, first serve. As soon as we get a contract, we get a deposit. Anything under 100,000 is going to be a $3,000 deposit. Anything over 100,000 is going to be a $5,000 deposit.
5, yeah.
So as soon as we get a wire to the title company, wire confirmation, and executed contract is what marks the property pending.
So the wire would go to the title company then.
Correct.
I like that, because It just gives the buyer a voice, if anything doesn't go right. So
Yeah, absolutely. We like to be upfront and fair with all our investors. So as soon as they send a wire, it's a credible title company.
yeah,
We work with New Beginnings
new
here in Central
beginnings. Yeah,
Florida.
do a ton of deals with
And
them. They're great.
yeah, they're great. And I think that's the best way to do it. They send a deposit straight to the title company. They see how credible we are, the title is, and we get a contract, and we're ready to go.
Good.
And we also guarantee clear title, or they get the deposit back.
So you mentioned credibility, and the wholesaler market has grown dramatically. When I was in the game, it was a couple people, and now it's a lot of people, and it's a lot of people out of state, not just local, and people that
Right.
don't know anything about our market, which is fine. If they're finding deals, that's great. But it's just evolved, and it's just different with everybody getting access to data online. So credibility, to me, is very, very important. It's kind of one of the reasons I got into lending, but that's another story. So credibility, I see a lot of people putting out deals. Hey, this is the ARV, this is the rehab, and both are wrong. And then they're also maybe not giving the investor the full picture of the property. And by that, I mean, like, maybe they're not disclosing stuff that they may know. I've seen people, wholesalers, not disclose basically sinkholes, that were insurance claims that they knew about, and that's why they got the deal really, really good and didn't disclose it. And it popped up on title, luckily, but that's something that you have to be careful of, because certain people may be in it for like a one-time transaction, other people may be in it for their business, and they're in it for the long term. So like when you're actually putting a property under contract before you go to sell it to a borrower or an investor, what are you doing on due diligence to the property? You did mention that you do flips, which is great. And I highly recommend, if you're going to work with a wholesaler, work with somebody that's done flips themselves, because they're not going to give you BS as far as the renovation costs. They've done it. They know what they're doing. They know what to look for. It's not like somebody just walking in saying, looks like paint and carpet, without really understanding what goes into a house. So what do you think you guys may do at Blackwater Investment Group that maybe can provide some credibility and make borrowers feel really comfortable that they're getting full disclosure and understanding, hey, the property that they're talking about selling is actually what they're selling?
Yeah. So I mean, like you said, credibility is a huge thing. I think I like to cover a lot of areas that's gonna make me more credible. Uh, so I have my real estate license. I'm a realtor as well,
That's
which
great.
is a huge thing. It's a huge thing because I mean, again, I'm gonna do business the correct way. I have something, to
Yeah, you're regulated.
rules to follow. Correct. So I'm gonna do things the right way. So I feel like getting your real estate license is a huge thing. Also, the knowledge and the training that you go through, with the market and overall everything. I think it's a huge thing.
Yeah.
That's one thing. Another thing is a few years back, I did have my own renovation company. So I worked with contractors and being in here, like at the field, like actually learning and being part of it. I feel like it's huge because you know the cost of things and you have a little bit more knowledge when it comes to that.
For sure.
So me having that background, me going into a property and also doing flips myself, just gives me a little more knowledge in what the property needs and the current costs, since costs of rehab are changing constantly. So just being up to date and having that experience helps a lot. Also, all my deals that I put out, I'm going to be going out to the property myself. First, before I put them out to everybody, I'm going to take a look at it myself. I'm going to do walkthrough videos, pictures of everything. Like you said, people sometimes don't disclose the ugly, the bad things of the properties, just to get deals done. But I feel like it's needed. Some investors out there are buying properties sight unseen.
Yeah.
So they expect for you to be upfront with them, for you to tell them everything that's going on with the property, videos, pictures, and it makes them more comfortable in being able to buy a property sight unseen. So I
Right.
think that's a huge thing. It's being able to be upfront with all the details, whether you have lien on the property, open permits, a hole in the roof, foundation issue, which is huge, especially here in Florida. That's
Yeah.
one thing you always have to look out for. So settling issues and things like that. So just being upfront, it gives a little more comfort to the client, to the investor, to the point where they trust you enough to be able to buy property sight unseen from you.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a big sight unseen person. I've just seen a lot of people get burned on it. But if you're working with somebody credible and they're disclosing everything and they're giving you pictures and video walkthroughs and they're really doing an accurate job where you've got a ton of pictures, all angles, and you also make sure like, hey, the master bathroom was left out of the pictures or something like that. And then you work with them and you'll know if that person's telling you the truth if you buy that property, because you're going to get to the end and be like, yeah, his $35,000 rehab was $65,000. So, that may mean you never want to do business with that person again. So it's really important, I think, just to be upfront. And if you can trust this person, then possibly you can get to the point where you can do purchases sight unseen. So that's
Yeah,
good
absolutely.
to know.
And I have a lot of clients that are out of state and out of the country.
Yeah.
So they kind of like depend on me going out to the properties and disclosing everything and making sure that they're going to get a good deal, especially if I'm going to manage their project for them. I'm obviously going to present the best deal possible and not burn my client or myself.
Yeah. It's been the Central Florida market's been a really good run the past few years. Right now, how much volume do you think you're doing? How many deals are you presenting to investors each month, we'll say?
I mean, on a high end, we're probably averaging about acquiring anywhere between 20 to 30 deals a month.
Wow. That's work.
Yeah. On both on market and off market. So I think that's our average. Being on the high end, on the high end months, it's going to be more towards the 30s.
Yeah.
And on the low, like as low as 15 deals to 20 deals a month.
I mean, even if you're presenting 10 a month that are quality to investors, that's a great source, in my opinion.
Yeah. So obviously the deals that are closest to us and the market that we focus on, those are going to be the ones that are going to be selling the fastest. And as far as those deals that are further out, either down south or a little bit more north, they're going to be a little more difficult to move. And it's just expanding ourselves out there and finding those buyers all the way out there.
Yeah. So, here's the tricky question. What sets you guys apart from other wholesalers in the Central Florida? What makes Blackwater Investment Group stick out, in your opinion?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's the experience, it's the honor that we work with, and being reliable and honest. This is just a huge thing.
Yeah.
And having the experience in all the different fields, whether it's renovations, finding the right value of the property, and knowing the market. Those are all good qualities that we have, and that kind of stands out a little bit. We're more focused on doing volume rather than doing one huge deal.
Yeah.
And never seeing that client again. Again, these clients we do a lot of assignments mainly. So we're upfront with our clients, showing them, what our fee is.
Yeah. And it's cheaper for them too.
Right, absolutely. And it's not they're saving a lot of closing costs. A lot of people do double close.
Yeah.
So sometimes those two sets of closing costs will make or break a deal.
At the current purchase prices, you could be adding another $4,000 or $5,000, which, in a tight market, that's a substantial amount. So things I'm listening to you and getting more knowledge of your background, but as somebody that's wholesaled and now lended in the Central Florida market for since 2007, things that kind of resonate with me that you're talking about is your work ethic, like taking phone calls, text at any time of the day, because that's something I did when I was a wholesaler and still do when I'm a lender, and it sets you apart because not everyone operates that way. Can't do it forever because it can burn you out a little, but as long as you manage it well, that's good. So that jumps out. The realtor license, that jumps out at me as well. I'm a realtor as well. You do find a lot of education. You are, regulated by the board, and so you have a certain set of standards that you have to follow, or you can get in trouble. And also that you're an investor yourself. That you've done this, and if I walk into a house with you, you could probably point some stuff out to me that I may not know about that may make or break my decision on whether to move forward with the deal. So these are really all, really great qualities I see in you that would make me say, hey, this is somebody that I would want to work with as well too. So very cool, very cool. All right, well, let's see what else we got here. So I'm a capital fundings borrower. I don't have a relationship with you. Do you think I got a shot at getting a great deal that comes through to you? Is it just like quickest to the email? I mean,
No, like I said, especially with my new clients, clients that are reaching out to me from the beginning, I like to always set either a phone call or a meeting in person, get to know the client, get to know their needs, their buying needs, and their goals. I feel like every client has a goal of how many deals they want to do in a specific time. So getting to know the client, that's huge for me. So any new clients are reaching out to me, I want to get to know them, get to know their needs, their goals. And then from there we go as far as, look, I can send you my deals. You can get all my deals on a daily basis. Or if you're ready to buy right now and you're ready to go, then let's get into that specific deal that you're looking for, and I'll get into the market and find that deal for you.
Yeah, I know we talked a little bit about it before we started recording here today, but so we're August 15th, 2024. What are your thoughts on the Central Florida market? Do you have any insight to investors out there looking to do their next fix and flip property? I mean, I know the data and we can talk about that, but what are you seeing from your standpoint?
Definitely in the past 30 days, it's been a little dip in the market, just all around. There's a couple little different things going on that I feel like that's definitely affecting the market. As far as the new regulations with the commissions, buyers having to pay buyer agents commissions, sellers not having to pay that commission anymore, which is a good and a bad thing. Good because you're saving those costs. If you're rehabbing a property and reselling it, and you don't have to pay a buyer's agent, you're saving $3,000, $5,000, $7,000, $8,000 just alone in there, if the buyer is paying that agent as well. And there's a lot of negotiation going on. So there's a lot of unknown right now that people are trying to get accustomed to and kind of learn the ways. So I feel like for investors, they can either benefit from that or hurt from it. Obviously, if they're able to offer some type of concession, it's going to help buyer agents put their buyers in front of those properties a little bit more, rather than just not offering anything at all. So there's a couple of different things that you're gonna have to accustom to and get well acquainted with the new market changes. As well as elections. We have elections going on, and right now there's a lot of back to school. So that I feel like that affects it as well. I mean, a lot of families are focusing on their kids, getting the kids back to school. So they're able to put everything on hold until they're good, their family's good, and it's obviously their priority. So after that, then it starts picking up more, and people are getting back into the buying.
Yeah, we've seen inventory jump up substantially over the last year. Market rates are actually coming down right now. The 30-year is 6.47. If we could get that sub 6, it would be really cool again.
Absolutely.
So we'll see where that is headed. And then also, the median price in the Central Florida market is kind of stayed the same. So I know from talking to our borrowers and talking to realtors and wholesalers like yourself, the market's still there, especially for renovated product, as long as it's priced reasonable. If you're going to set your renovated product, way and above the market price, you may sit on it for a while. But if you do a good job with your renovation and price it accordingly, days on the market shouldn't be that long. So it's still, especially in the higher end of the market, which is crazy. It may be easier to sell $1 million home than it is a $300,000 home right now. Go figure. But okay, cool. Well, just to kind of recap a little, the one thing I did want to share with everybody that I probably should have said in the beginning, because it's one of the most important things here in Central Florida, is that Camilo speaks Spanish. Not everyone does. I don't, and I wish I did, because a lot of our borrowers speak Spanish. So, that's another added benefit of working with Camilo, because you can communicate a lot easier in your preferred method. So,
Yeah.
Camilo, in Spanish, tell everyone, why should they be reaching out to you?
Bueno, para mi gente que latina, que necesitan propiedades de inversión aquí en la Florida, me pueden contactar en mi Instagram o en mi website de Blackwater Investment Group y para ayudarlos a arreglar sus compañías para poder comprar aquí en los Estados Unidos o en la Florida.
Great. Now, and I'm going to translate this later, tell everyone your experience working with capital fundings, because we do a lot of business together as well, too.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been nothing but great.
In Spanish.
Honestly.
In
Spanish.
Spanish.
Let's do it. Cap Funding es una compañía muy grande, tiene mucho valor esa compañía que ayuda a todos los inversionistas al funding de las propiedades. Tienen muy buenos números y ayudan mucho a la gente y están encima de todo el camino para ayudarlos y que tengan un buen propiedad para poder invertir.
All right. I told you I'm going to translate it afterwards, but I appreciate the little clip. All right. Well, cool. I think we're wrapping up. Is there anything else, that you felt like, somebody that's new to the game or somebody that's, been doing this for a long time and is looking for a great deal should know about you or Blackwater Investment Group?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's we have the experience, the knowledge behind us to put out great deals and be upfront with everything. And we're always open to working with new clients and helping them reach their goals and build a profitable portfolio, which is great and very important in this market. And as far as people getting into the business, I feel like the best thing I can say to them is have that work ethic, have that mentality of just being an animal and going out there and doing the best you can. There's going to be a lot of challenges being thrown at you that you have to overcome. But it's just part of the game. Don't let those things bring you down or have an effect on you moving forward. There's a lot of people around you. It's a small world in this business, and you can definitely network with the right people, and they'll help you level up. So networking, having a great work ethic, and just being upfront with everything, and just being clear to everybody, having open communication with everybody, definitely sets you apart in this business.
Yeah, we always tell all of our borrowers, as a local lender, we're here, we're partners with you guys. Like, we're on your side. We want to make you more profitable. We're going to do everything we can to make you more money on your deals. Hopefully you'll continue to use us as a lending source. But, you have partners that you just maybe not even know about, and your wholesaler can be a partner as well, especially if they've got a lot of experience and they know what they're doing. So you now have this team of people, a wholesaler, a lender, yourself, your contractors, that you really should lean on, and it can make this business a lot easier for you. So, all right, cool. Well, let's wrap it up. If you've enjoyed today's episode, make sure to subscribe, to leave a review, and share it with a friend if you can. And thank you, Camilo, for joining us. Where can our listeners find you online? I know we've talked about it, but where can they find you in Blackwater Investment Group?
Absolutely. So you can go on my Linktree, Blackwater Investment Group. That's our website. You're able to find all my contact information, all my forms on there that you can fill out and get a hold of me, as well as my Instagram. You can reach out to me through there as well. And I'm open to new clients reaching out, and I'm here to help in any way possible.
Yeah, we're going to put all of Camilo's contact information on whatever source you're viewing this on at as well too. So, all right, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you in the next episode of the Investor Lounge podcast.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.